The film titled Luther. The Fallen Son is a story of a brilliant detective, John Luther, who escaped from prison to hunt down a ruthless serial killer wreaking havoc in London. A film begins when a wealthy trader and serial killer, David Roby, resorts to blackmail and abduction tactics against the cleaner, Callum Aldrich. DCI John Luther is tasked with solving the case and assures Callum's mother, Corinne, of his unwavering commitment to locate her missing son. However, Roby, troubled by Luther's interference, delves into the detective's past, uncovering a trail of illicit activities. Luther's reputation emerges as that of a vigilante, a law enforcer who often operates beyond official boundaries, fostering a belief that rules don't bind him. Roby's revelation results in Luther's dismissal from the force, followed by legal proceedings, leading to his imprisonment. Years later, Roby manipulates Corinne and other grieving parents to converge at a house where, unbeknownst to them, their abducted children had been kept alive for an extended period. Tragically, upon their arrival, the parents discover their children's lifeless bodies, hanging in the basement as the overheated battery of a mobile phone triggers a fatal fire. Remarkably, the house belonged to a Saudi national absent from Britain for years. Seeking solace or answers, Corinne confronts Luther in prison, expressing her disappointment over his failure to apprehend her son's killer. Meanwhile, Roby, in a diabolical move, transmits a recording of Callum's murder to Luther via a clandestine radio frequency, discreetly slipped under his prison cell door. To further confound the situation, Roby himself surreptitiously drives Corinne to the prison, concealing his true identity as the mastermind behind the abductions and murders, positioning himself as a sympathetic figure to the grieving parents. Recognizing the imminent danger posed by the calculated killer's intent, Luther promptly informs DCI Odette Rain, the new head of serious and serial crime, about the ominous broadcast. Rain discloses that the murderer has disseminated similar recordings to all 8 victims' families, signifying a looming climax where the killer seeks an audience. Despite Rain's indifference to Luther's unresolved past and refusal to assist him, Luther is determined to outmaneuver the killer. He strategizes with prison guards and former colleague McCabe to engineer his escape. Luther orchestrates a situation where fellow inmates attack him, leveraging their animosity stemming from his former law enforcement role. Consequently, this altercation leads the guards to transfer Luther to another prison, facilitating McCabe's planned extraction en route. Rain recruits retired DSU Martin Schenk as a consultant to aid in the pursuit of Luther, who used to be under Schenk's command. Luther's trail leads him to the radio station, broadcasting Roby's ominous messages. Engaging with Derek, the station's owner, Luther unravels a disturbing tale. Derek encountered an individual online with extreme submission preferences. Directed to a rendezvous point with security codes, Derek engaged in intimate acts with a stranger, mistaking him for the online acquaintance. Realizing his mistake post-coitus, Derek became a victim of blackmail, coerced into broadcasting the ominous tape without query. Luther intercepts the phone used for communication with Derek and seeks Schenk's aid to trace the number, keeping Rain informed throughout. Tracking Roby's whereabouts to Piccadilly Circus, both Luther and Rain mobilize armed police SCO-19, drawing on information shared by Schenk. Their encounter with Roby is interrupted by the manipulated individuals he blackmailed, triggering chaos as they cause fatal disruptions by leaping from buildings and crashing vehicles. In the ensuing clash with Luther and amid the chaos, Roby flees into the depths of the London Underground. A harrowing struggle ensues, resulting in Roby's brutal murder of an armed officer, inflicting a fatal wound that Luther desperately tries to stem. Additionally, a revelation surfaces exposing one of Rain's team members, Archie, as being in league with Roby. Luther communicates with Rain over the phone, conjecturing that the perpetrator manipulates victims through blackmail. During a conversation with Corinne, Luther suggests the possibility that Callum might have been coerced similarly. He speculates about Corinne's potential encounters with the killer, linking the individual to her life. Corinne recounts meeting a man named Tommy at a support group following Callum's demise. Meanwhile, Robe seizes Rain's daughter, Anya, leveraging her safety in exchange for Luther's demise. As Rain uncovers the killer's true identity, Robe demands Luther's life in return for Anya's release. Reluctantly agreeing to collaborate, Rain discloses to Luther that Robe was previously suspected of sexual assault, though never substantiated. Furthermore, Robe's wife had suffered severe injuries in a mysterious fire while contemplating leaving him, yet arson remained unproven. Rain discloses her predicament to Luther, revealing that Robe holds her daughter captive and demands Luther's surrender. Concurrently, Rain's team uncovers an online Red Room organizing atrocities, where victim profiles align with recent disappearances across Europe. Their pursuit leads them to Robe's scarred ex-wife Georgette, whom Luther accuses of trying to stop Robe, leading to her fiery fate. Unveiling Robe's overseas property through Georgette's cooperation, they make headway, but Archie, a member of Rain's team, is manipulated by Robe, compelling him to attempt Georgette's murder, halted by Schenk acting on Luther's orders. Tragically, Archie ends his life. Journeying to Robe's remote Norwegian estate, Luther and Rain discover his atrocious live-streamed torture site, the Red Bunker, where kidnapped victims suffer for an audience. Despite being captured, Luther and Rain resist Robe's coercion to harm each other. Luther reveals Georgette had informed the police of their location, leading to their imminent rescue. A grueling struggle ensues, culminating in a confrontation at a frozen lake, where Robe meets his demise by drowning. Luther survives, rescued by police divers alongside Schenk.